This one, it really blew my mind. Yeah, I can't really say enough about this one. It's like, it's such a small little spinner, and it's by, fucking don't remember the name now. Oh God. Why are my names so bad today? Tom Lanet is the maker, designer, and it's Unquiet Hands. God damn it. Unquiet Hands, of course. Okay. So Unquiet Hands, one of my favorite makers, makes such good stuff, all about the quality, not the quantity. And Tom Lanet is he's an absolute sweetheart of an owner and a man. He's just wonderful. He's so wonderful to deal with. Always so thankful of like anyone, you know, talking nicely about his spinners or his company or anything like that. And just like so grateful and thank you and thankful. So this is the Tungsten Sage in a machine finish. I got it on the secondary. Someone wanted to get like $500 for it or something like that. And I was like, I don't know, man. The best I could do is like, you know, $354 or something like that. Talk to me if you don't sell it. And eventually he didn't sell it for that. So he contacted me. He said, hey, do you want it? And I was like, I do want that. This thing is so amazing. It's like, I don't think I could ever get rid of it. And some people think, why? I mean, it's so tiny. It's like this tiny little thing in your hand. And it's because it's like flipping a coin over and over and over again in your hand and catching it just perfectly. I don't know how to describe it. There's just something very small and easy and satisfying about it. Once again, NJT for the win with charcuterie, if that's how you say it. I don't know how to say charcuterie. It's a weird metal word. But here there goes. Charcuterie buttons on there. He surprised me with the finish. Said I want charcuterie, and he just fucking came up with this. Blew my mind. It's absolutely wonderful. The grip on them is amazing. This is the tungsten one. I'm going to show it to you because this doesn't need to have those buttons on there to be awesome. Okay. So Tungsten Dune right now is sporting its grips because it happens to be really good with them on there. So the one thing that's the problem with the Sage, and I don't like it when people get scared away from the Sage when they get one and maybe you're like me and their hands aren't small enough to use it without shims. So you kind of need to have, well, I kind of need to put shims in there and then a longer post. Unfortunately, you can only put a longer post in the tungsten one because it's too hard to machine a dedicated threaded post into tungsten. So all the other Sage buttons and most of Unquiet Hands stuff, actually, their buttons have what is called a dedicated threading. And this part is basically integrated into the button, all right? So it becomes impossible to use these kinds of shims. I did see recently that Tom Lanet actually, you know, had watched one of my older videos that I did on the Copper Sage, and I mentioned this, and he had talked about wanting to like work out something. And then recently I saw that he had released special shims just for their buttons that deals with that problem. So that's really good. This spinner, it just changes everything once you get that up a little bit there, because I find most spinners, unless you have at least, like this is shimmed and this is only poking up over the edge, what I would consider to be like a good minimum for me. Because I like a tight clearance, but that is like, that's shim. So you have to imagine this down there, it's like barely anything. It's less than a mil of clearance over the body. I'm going to show you what it sounds like with this because it quiets it right down. So that's it at its like quiet kind of stage. And it's still not even that heavy. Almost a perfect weight, really, in my opinion. The whole like keeping it around the 150 sort of idea. Beautiful spinner. Absolutely love it. And then I had Nick from FTO make me some 23 mil. That's what else I should mention. is that this spinner uses a bit of a more unique size as well. It is a 23 mil button. Yeah, it's not lighter than the Nest because it's kind of thick. When you think about it, it's kind of thick. It's good 12 mil at the peak, but then it goes down, right? So it is a bit of a thicker one, right? And that's why. Anything with tungsten, when you start getting anything a little bit thicker, it just like, it's such a heavy metal. It's like 20 mil wide. So yeah, but 23 mil buttons is what this thing takes. So I had Nick make me some 23 mil grips for this. I want you to listen to when I'm flipping it and then catching it in my hand, because I want to see if you can hear it. But this is one of, with the Altum buttons, it became like one of the most addictive sounds and like noises to keep doing repetitively. You get what I'm saying? It's pretty cool. I wanted a little bit more weight, and I was kind of like not into the Altum button thing for a while there. So I went back to the custom circuity ones that I had made. This is what they sound like. So a little bit quieter, but a bit of the same quality, right? But again, just emphasizing that just changing the buttons, because buttons are speakers and or microphones for your bearings, right? Hola, papi. You fucker. Haven't seen you a bit in the stream. That is my favorite one, I think. I think that's just the operator. Yeah, it's just operator. You know it. Boom, boom. Yeah, so there we go. The Tungsten Sage, man, it's legendary. And, you know, Tom Lanet is legendary. Such a good guy. We love him. I promised him eventually I would do a review on the Tungsten Sage because I did the copper one. Said he really liked that review. It made me feel really good. So here you go.